Hey guys, real quick before I get started with the video, I just wanted to thank everybody that watches, comments and subscribes. Means a lot and it makes it all worthwhile for me. So, keep them coming. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, give me a heads up. I have a bunch of cool stuff planned, but always welcome your suggestions and ideas. So thanks very much, and talk to you guys soon. Yeehaw! Hey everybody, D-Dub here, coming at you from New York. How are you? As you are undoubtedly aware, Sunday, March 22nd, 2020, things in the world are, shall we say, a little abnormal. Let's take refuge in music, shall we? Today I'm going to be getting into something a little different than I've done in my most recent videos. Instead of picking apart a piece of music that I love and am interested in, what I'm going to do is talk about a technique and get into hybrid picking and chicken picking. Some of my rocker buddies are sort of mystified by it. Really, they're sort of intimidated by the idea of using anything other than just their pick. And there's a whole other sonic palette. If you don't mind my sounding a wee bit pretentious, there's a whole other sonic palette that opens up when you can start. Bunch of different stuff that you can do that you can't do if you're limited to just the pick. To give you a vivid illustration of how one of the best rockers of all time used chicken picking, James Patrick Page used it in one of his many iconic solos, which I'm sure you know. Chicken picking. No lesser light than Jimmy Page used chicken picking in a classic Zeppelin tunes. So let's dive in and start picking this apart. What I've done is I've constructed a solo that you guys can, it's over a very simple 1-4-5 chord progression, and you guys can start incorporating some of the stuff that I'm going to show you in over a 1-4-5. So there's a number of different ways to do this, but the way that I do it is what's known as hybrid picking, which is to say that I keep the pick in between my thumb and forefinger, and I utilize my third and fourth fingers to pluck on the strings. So what that looks like close up is this. So I'm plucking on the G string and then with the pick, and then pulling up with these two fingers, ring finger and middle finger. So get accustomed to using these two fingers and not just having them tucked away like you do when you're playing only with a pick. So you're playing. However, you're going to put, so that's a D major scale with a flat seventh. So you're going to put your index finger here and There's your root of the chord. So, and then you're going to play a third above and below the root note. So you're playing a F sharp here, and an F sharp here, and the D here. So So what I want you to do is I want you to practice play the D string, which is an F sharp, with the pick, and then play the D and F sharp with your fingers. The whole reason you play it with your fingers is because you get that percussive snap. You just can't get that with the pick, or at least not with quite the same character. So, here we go. Now I want you to go boom cha gung gung cha. Thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers. Okay, so the first order of business is going to be playing over the A chord. And you're going to go. So this interval is a major third, minor third, and of course you're doubling the third down here. So your notes are, so you're going, so in rhythm, so that's that bit. That's the A major chord descending thing. I'll do it real slow so you can hear all of the percussive elements. All right, my looper is acting up, so I'm going to take you through the 4 and 5 chords without the benefit of background rhythm track. However, now that we've played over the A, now we're over the D. So the same thing, you got a D and an F sharp, and an F sharp down here. So you're just sliding these two strings, these two fingers straight down, and then you're, and now, so on the top you've got B and D, and then a D down here. So it sounds like this. And then so this is what's going on behind it is you're going from the D major to the E major. So this is a D chord. Here's the third, F sharp. Here's the fifth, A, and here's the C, which is the seventh. So it's basically this. But it's a really cool voicing because it sounds like this. Now, here's the cool part. You're going to pick up this finger and go. A little bit of a stretch. But practice this if you can by itself. Look at the right hand. And then you get it up to speed. So, from the A, now we're on the D. Remember that rhythm thing. And now, F sharp, A, C, and then pick up your pink. And all you're doing is sliding that shape up. You're not changing strings or anything. You're just going. So. Okay, so now we go da 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 da. Now back to A. So that's a blues lick, really. You're gonna bar across here. So what the note that's kind of concealed in that chord shape is. So you're holding this, you're barring at the 5th fret these 3 strings, and then you're playing a D here, and then, but this is another one of these cases where having all of these fingers in use gives you're able to play all 3 of those notes simultaneously. Instead of that's a good thing to practice till you get this one. So you got. That's just a tritone starting on C and F sharp here. So you're basically sliding into an A7. Those 2 notes suggest an A7 chord, right? Because you got the 3rd, which is a C, and the G, which is the 7th. So you don't have to play the whole. You just go, and that implies it. So. Open A. Okay? Now we're going to the 4, and this is one of those licks. This is something I grabbed from a Brent Mason solo. It's something that sounds expensive, but it's really only 25 cents at the most. Play these 3 notes, D7, and then you're going to go. Isn't that neat? Minimal effort and maximum flash. Needs you to go like this. Because this is a little tough to get clean. Now we're on the 4 chord. Back to the 1. So this is one of those things that you start to notice when you pick these riffs apart, is that it's these dissonances that grab your ear. You know, not the super, well, you know, the super sweet. I mean, that grabs you too, but this grabs you in a different way. That minor second sound, it's only passing by for a second, but it grabs you. Now, notice by plucking up, you know, you get way more snap than you could ever get with the pick. There's the pick. Of course, you could play down here. But nothing compares to pulling up on that string with your middle finger, or your 4th finger for that matter. So here we go. So let's pick that apart. So you're just going. This is also I don't know if you want to call it a cliche, but it's a very common part of the country guitar vocabulary, is to play the second, bend it up a half a step, and then go back to the root. Right? I've heard that a million times in a million songs. So let those notes ring. And then D. Now this lick finds its way into so many of my solos. I got it off a Vince Gill record. I believe it was a tribute album. Bakersfield. He played all Bakersfield stuff. Merle Haggard, Buck Owens stuff. And I heard this lick that really grabbed my ear, and I figured it out. And it works great over an A, like say you're in A major. Because what you're doing is you're playing the 7th, and then you're going from the 9 to the 3rd. That's in effect what you're doing, right? You're going, but with the 7 on top. But it sounds so great over an A chord, or any chord, right? A G chord. And I like to use both of these fingers to push it up, because you want to keep that string in tune. And you want to bend it so that the interval is a true. So. And then that's just the equivalent of going, right? So just going from like an A major to an A 7th. I'm sorry. But the bend is what makes it. It's got that pedal steely thing. Oh. So, that ought to give you a little something to chew on. Have fun with it. Now here's the Jimmy Page bit, just in case you're curious about it, because it uses a slightly different trick, or not really a trick, but a technique. So you get that click first by you just hit the string, but you deaden it. So you got click, note, click, note, click, note, click, note. Of course, you could do more clicks, right? Those are triplets, but he just goes. So here it is with the chord changes and rhythm behind it. Like so. There you have it.